Hey ladies and gentlemen, I am the one with the bulging biceps, perfect pecs, washboard abs. I am the great Jazz Fitness here in the Fitness Corner, and today we're going to be talking about The Sixth Sense and my review. Long overdue. All right, let's get into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so let's talk about the movie The Sixth Sense. It came out back in 1999, if you remember. That was actually the year I graduated high school, believe it or not. And it was also the year I was about finishing my wrestling training. It was the middle of my wrestling training in 99. So, kudos. That 99 will bring a lot of memories. One of the other memories I'll have of 1999 is my first time viewing the movie The Sixth Sense in the theater. Now, I went to see it opening night in a theater. Actually, oddly enough, it's a theater that I went on to work in years later. Anyway, it's not about that. Anyway, so let's talk about The Sixth Sense. Break it down for you. So The Sixth Sense by M. Night Shyamalan. A lot of people believe this is his big hit and this might have been his debut. It was not actually his debut. He did a film before, prior to The Sixth Sense called Wide Awake, which is completely different than anything he's done since. Wide Awake was a film that took place. It wasn't a scary film at all. It wasn't suspenseful. It wasn't really. It was kind of a family film, if you would. It's got Rosie O'Donnell in it. It's Joseph Cross's first acting debut. Very talented young man he is. And then so that's kind of where M. Night Shyamalan kind of started, from the Philadelphia area. All right. Then we go into The Sixth Sense. Now let me tell you. The Sixth Sense was one of the first films. It was actually a pioneer of the genre. It was also the first PG-13 film to really push that envelope of the PG-13 rating. I remember watching it and thinking to myself, this is PG-13? So let's break it down, The Sixth Sense. So first let's break down the cast. Casting is done really wonderfully. You got Bruce Willis, first of all, who plays Malcolm Crowe. I should honestly tell you, there'll be spoilers alert, and if you haven't seen this movie by now, go watch it first and then watch this review. If you have watched it, then continue watching, whatever. And if you don't mind spoilers, then also continue watching. But anyway, what Bruce Willis, who plays child psychologist Malcolm Crowe, is a child psychologist who's kind of celebrating his latest kind of triumph, winning an award, getting acknowledged for his work with children. And one night, him and his wife, as celebrating, are interrupted by a break-in by a former client, played by Donnie Wahlberg, called Victor. So Victor is young. It was a troubled young man from his child, from Bruce Willis's past, Malcolm Crowe's past, who's come back to tell him he was wrong about his diagnosis. He got it wrong, and that he wants vengeance upon Bruce Willis, for whatever reason, because he was continued to be tormented. And that was Donnie Wahlberg. Donnie Wahlberg. All right, I might not be a fan of the New Kids on the Block because, let's face it, I'm a guy, and most guys around in my area are into the Aerosmith and like Boston, and that's kind of our groups, okay? The Mighty Bosstones, or even Dropkick Murphys. So the New Kids on the Block, as far as music go, not really my thing. Donnie Wahlberg's done some other films, not such memorable things. This role, what I really liked about Donnie Wahlberg is I didn't even know that was Donnie Wahlberg. I had seen his name in the trailer, and I was thinking, oh great, Donnie Wahlberg's in this movie. Where are they going to stick him? And I remember watching the entire movie wondering, well, where the hell is Donnie Wahlberg? He did such a great job to prepare for the role of Victor by losing all that weight. He started out the movie, and for you girls out there who haven't seen the movie yet, you get to see Donnie Wahlberg in his tighty whities, ladies and gentlemen. Not that I could care less about that, but for you women out there, there you go. But I remember watching the film, and all the women screamed at the fact that they knew that it was him and that he was in that. So that's the reaction that got. But tragically, the patient, Donnie Wahlberg, shoots Malcolm Crowe. And we fast forward, so we don't know how long. And now we have Malcolm Crowe, who's working with a Cole Sear, played by Haley Joel Osment, who, nope, this is not Haley's first role either. Haley has done some movies prior to this. He was in the movie Bogus with Whoopi Goldberg and Jawad Apatow. He also was in the movie, I Will Remember April. And he did a couple other films as well. Actually, he was probably most known as Young Forrest in Forrest Gump. So he's done some things already, worked some pretty big talents. When you talk about Forrest Gump, you work with Tom Hanks and Robert Penn, right? Robert Wright Penn. And then in Whoopi Goldberg, I mean, come on, that's some great stuff you're working with already. And then now we get to Sixth Sense. And now he's working with Bruce Willis. Toni Collette is his mother. Toni Collette is a farly underrated actress. She's a fantastic actress who knows how to get the points across. Really underrated, I believe, in Hollywood. I think she deserves more respect than she gets. And then the rest of the cast, just a great job. And the director, I mean, M. Night Shyamalan has in mind. And I believe that it was this film that kind of might have started a spiral, started a trend that might have ruined what it was. Okay? So let's get into it. Let's go further. So that's what we got there. And we got little cameo appearances here and there by the likes of Trevor Morgan, who at the time was in just about everything. Trevor Morgan was Tommy in the film The Sixth Sense. He was kind of the protagonist to Haley Joel Osment's character Cole. He was kind of forced to walk to school with Cole and kind of picked on him a lot. He was a child actor in the movie, actually. He was doing a lot of commercials and stuff, and the kind of jealousy between Cole and Tommy. And a lot has been said about where Cole's father was in this film, and also some things that are absent are, were they a struggling family? Did they have money? We don't really know what the mother did for work. We don't really need a lot of that, though. It's really about Cole and what he is keeping inside of himself, and then can Malcolm help him out? Why is Malcolm missing the point? And as the movie goes on and progresses, it is discovered that Cole discloses his secret to Malcolm, who, like any psychology professional, would automatically go in the realm of saying, yeah, this kid's out of his mind, he's psychosis or whatever, until he goes back to listen to a tape of his former client, Victor, who started off the whole movie. And Vincent was his name. And what ends up happening is Vincent, he hears, the EVP, actually. And I thought it was cool that they worked EVP into this movie, that a lot of people don't even really pick up on the fact that EVP was disclosed right there, because what they heard was Victor and Malcolm talking, Vincent and Malcolm talking, some silence, and then we turned it up, he could hear the EVP of another thing in the room, which was the ghost, talking, and that's kind of how Malcolm found out that, yes, he's not alone, this is going on. The movie goes on, and now Malcolm knows that he needs to help, that Cole should help these ghosts instead of running away from them, because now we know that Cole sees dead people all the time. Now, I think this is a movie that you can't really do a review without any spoilers, but let's try to do this. There's a spoiler. The end of the movie is a twist ending. Let's leave it like that. Now, I think what that did was completely change the genre, and I don't care who anyone is, you never knew that was coming. Okay? I know movies really well. And I pick up on things before, halfway into a movie, or sometimes even the beginning of a movie. I can tell you who did what's going to be the outcome. Me being in the film business, that's kind of what I know. But this film caught me by surprise, took me out of the loop, and was like, what happened? And I was completely blown away by the ending. Completely wasn't expecting it. And when it was explained in front of me, I understood it. I'm like, oh my gosh, they got me. M. Night Shyamalan tricked the icon Jazz Fitness before he was the icon Jazz Fitness. Actually, right in the beginning, I was Jazz Vengeance at the time when he tricked me. Anyway, so that was kind of the first one. That was really well done. A lot of hype. So that was, the acting was great. The continuity between everyone was great. Another thing a lot of people don't talk about is the music in The Sixth Sense. What I liked about the music was it had this build of suspense, but then like nothing really would, come to light of that ending of that music, right? And then all of a sudden, boom, something would come out of nowhere. Another thing I liked is it really, really got it teeter-taught on that PG-13 level. There was some scenes and some actions in that movie. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is PG-13? Some things are very graphic in this movie for a PG-13 movie. I'm actually surprised that I've seen less in R-rated films in this movie, but it escaped with a PG-13 rating, which, hey, whatever. But it was really well done. The music came well together. The chemistry of the cast came well together. The plot line was good. And it ended with a shock of an ending. And it was a happy ending, but it was a shocking and a sad a little bit as well. So, the last review I did was a little long, but I think enough can be said about the talents of everyone involved. Haley Joel Osment, I think he's got a lot of acknowledgments. He's got a lot of praise for his role. And I know he doesn't do a lot of acting now, but he is still, in my opinion, one of the greatest talents that come from the younger generation. He seemed to have that kind of mentality at a young age, and he never seemed to lose it. And I think that he was a fantastic in that role. Bruce Willis did a good job in that role. Everyone involved. Toni Collette, underrated. Even Donnie Wahlberg did a great role. Thank goodness he didn't do he apparently did have the right stuff after all, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope you enjoyed my review of The Sixth Sense, and I just want to congratulate M. Night Shyamalan again. I'm going to go on the limb and say this too. M. Night Shyamalan is my favorite director. I don't care what anybody says about anything that's happened before and after or since. The fact that M. Night Shyamalan is able to mess with my brain in a movie, and also throws himself in there a little bit here and there and just keeps reinventing the genre. M. Night Shyamalan has my seal of approval. The Sixth Sense gets a 12 rating, and acting is phenomenal. And I want to thank you guys for joining me in my review of The Sixth Sense. Way overdue. So I'm going to use my Sixth Sense and tell you guys I'm going to do the right thing by step and on out of here. Thank you. And may all your dreams come true. Good Jazz by Fitness.